Japanese Rakugo comic storyteller, and my name is Katsura Sunshine. At the beginning of Rakugo stories in Japanese, we start with a traditional greeting to the audience. In polite Japanese, the greeting goes a little bit like this. 皆様ご来場いただきありがとうございます。厚く御礼を申し上げます。私、こう見えても落語家なんです。桂三氏改め6代桂文枝の15番目の弟子の桂さんに輝くと書きまして、桂サンシャインでございます。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。Same greeting in English, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Sometimes English is shorter. Today we have another short Rakugo story for you about Rakugo. Hello, Jinbei-san. Anybody home? Jinbei-san. Oh, I was wondering who it was. It's you, Bobby-kun. Come in. Jinbei-san, I've been looking more and more into Rakugo, and I see that it's much more than meets the eye. Really? What has stood out for you? Well, there seems to be a lot of rituals when you go to see a Rakugo show. Rituals? What rituals are you thinking about? Well, when you go to see a Rakugo show, 30 minutes before the show begins, when they open the doors of the theater, there always seems to be the same song playing. It sounds like a big taiko drum. Ah, yes, very observant. The song they are playing is called Ichiban Daiko, the number one drum. The number one drum? Is that played by the number one drummer? Not really. Usually played by an apprentice, still under apprenticeship. Did you know, Bobby-kun, that during the number one drum, Ichiban Daiko, the taiko drum is actually talking to you? Well, for some reason, this melody really speaks to me. Is that what you mean? Yes, in a way. What is it saying to you? Well, it makes me feel like I want to enter the theater, like I start to get really excited and looking forward to the performance. Wow, Bobby-kun, that's exactly what the taiko drum is saying. Really? Yes. Do you remember the rhythm? Dun, 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 dun. Yes, that is the exciting rhythm, and it goes faster and faster. Exactly. It actually contains the rhythm of a Japanese sentence. Really? So the song has lyrics? Yes, although nobody ever really sings them or speaks them. The rhythm represents the Japanese words don, don, don to koi, don, don, don to koi. Ah, Jinbei-san, I see. It is saying there's no fish allowed in the theater. What? No fish? Yes, no fish. Koi means carp, right? So it's saying donto, donto, donto carp. Very high level joke. Donto koi means everyone come in. Koi means, it's like come, kuru, kuru, koi, koi, koyo, koyo. It's kind of the imperative. And don means just lots of people, everyone, or lots of something, right? So don to koi means everyone come in. You could do it rhythmically in English too. Come in, everybody come in. Wow! So it is inviting everybody into the theater. That's what the taiko drum was whispering into my eardrum. Very high level joke. Yes, this is something called ENGIMONO, a kind of auspicious action or ritual or item or something meant to bring good fortune. Now, the best fortune for a theater is to have a full house, right? So this is one of those things that they use in the theater to say, don, don, don to koi. Let's have a big full house. Everybody come in. That kind of thing. Wow, Jimmy-san, that is fascinating. Is the drum saying anything else? Well, if you've ever been on time to hear the very beginning of Ichiban Daiko, the number one drum, it sounds a little bit like this. This is actually the sound of the theater door opening to welcome in the crowds. Jinbei-san, that is great. You really feel like the theater door is opening right in front of your very eyes. Or in front of your ears, at least. Yes, indeed. Jinbei-san, what about the song just before they start the show? It has a couple of taiko drums and I think a flute as well. Is that ENGIMONO too? Yes, it is. The main rhythm is this. It represents the Japanese words otafuku koi koi, otafuku koi koi, otafuku koi koi, otafuku koi koi. Fuku is fortune in Japanese, and you know what koi means. Come on! So it's saying, fortune, come on, let there be great fortune for our audience today. Otafuku koi koi means, let there be great fortune coming to all of the patrons of our theater today. Jinbei-san, sometimes English is longer than Japanese. Yes, can I tell you something funny, Bobby-kun? Sure. There is another drum at the end of the show. Its rhythm is not so welcoming. Really? What is it saying? The rhythm is this. It represents the Japanese words deteke, 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 deteke. Deteke means get out. So in English you could do it like this. Go away, 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 go away. Ha! Jinbei-san, that's very cold-hearted. Yes, the final part of the go-away drum is this. Ah, Jinbei-san, it's like the number one drum, only backwards. Are they closing the door of the theater? Exactly. Ah, the storytellers will have to go to the uchiage after party after the show. Drink with other Rakugo storytellers and sometimes their most important or their most faithful customers. They have to close up the theater before they go, so you can't keep them waiting. Maybe that's why the drum says, go away, 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 go away. All the storytellers want to get to their drinks as quickly as possible. Jinbei-san, it's going to be so much more fun experiencing the Yosei Theater when I know now what the drums are saying to me. Exactly. Jinbei-san, are there any more auspicious elements or ENGIMONO to the Rakugo show? Sure, lots. Do you see the kind of calligraphy with which the performers' names are written, both on the paper at the side of the stage, and maybe on the poster in front of the theater, outlining the members who will be performing that day? Yes, Jinbei-san, it's a very strange kind of writing. It's almost illegible to me. Haha, you are not the only one. And some of these characters are very difficult to read, even for us Japanese. They're written in a very, very thick font. This thickness is part of the auspicious nature of this calligraphy. How is that, Jinbei-san? The paper that the name is written on, called a nabira, represents the theater as viewed from above. The white area represents empty seats. The black ink represents the black hair on the tops of the heads of the audience. So writing with thick letters, trying to fill as much of the paper as possible, leaving as little white as you can, represents a packed house. Wow, Jinbei-san! However, I think they should make it more colorful, not just black. Colorful? Why colorful? Well, I think perhaps in the Edo period, all Japanese people had black hair, but these days a lot of Japanese people are even dyeing their hair, so you could afford to make this more colorful to be a better representation of the tops of people's heads. Very high-level joke. There is one auspicious thing which I think you probably have not noticed, unless you've gotten really, really close to the stage. Oh, what is that? What is the Rakugoka kneeling on? A cushion called a ZABUTON, right? Yes, exactly, a ZABUTON. Now, if you know how a ZABUTON is made, you have a long piece of cloth and it is folded. It is stuffed with the cushion and then sewn up. But see, because it is folded, you only have to sew up 3 sides. The 4th side is folded, so it does not need to be sewn up. So you always make sure to place the ZABUTON with the unsewn side, the undivisible side, the folded up side, facing the audience. This is auspicious. In Japanese thinking, things you cannot divide are more auspicious than things you can divide. Ah, Jinbei-san, I know. That's like when you go to a Japanese wedding. You can give the couple 10,000 yen, or 30,000 yen, or 50,000 yen, but not 20,000 yen, or 40,000 yen. It's the same thing. If you can divide it evenly among the couple, you are saying that they might be able to break up. So it's more auspicious to give an odd number of bills. Exactly. So even the names of the Yosei theaters have 5 kanji characters or 7 kanji characters, but never 6 or 4. Wow, Jinbei-san, this is so interesting. These auspicious rituals and auspicious actions, auspicious items. Is there anything else that is hidden from the audience? Hidden from the audience? Yes, the audience doesn't really see the dressing room before the show or before each and every individual performance, right? Ah, yes, very good point, Bobby-kun. Well, number 1. Rakugoka should never be seen to be preparing for their stories or getting into character, as you might see a solo performer in the West before a show, trying to concentrate, trying to enter the world. You don't do that as a Rakugoka. Most Rakugoka will be in the dressing room and at the side of the stage, joking around with the other storytellers and the shamisen master and that kind of thing. In fact, they'll even be joking when their entrance music is playing and the audience is waiting for them to go on. That is in the spirit of Edo Iki, or sophistication. And then, just before they go on stage, they say a very interesting phrase to the people at the side of the stage or in the dressing room. They say, "お先に勉強させていただきます," which means I am going on to the stage to study. It would be very inauspicious and a little bit self-centered to say, "I'm going out to kill them," or "Here we go," or "Can't wait to make this audience laugh," or "I'm going to have them rolling in the aisles," or something like that. The thinking of the Rakugo storyteller is, I don't think I'm in a position to make the audience laugh today, but I will learn from them, so hopefully I can get better for the future. Of course, every storyteller is going out to make the audience laugh, but you should never say it in that way. Even the stance of the storyteller vis-a-vis the audience is one of modesty and lower in social status. A common greeting to the audience when the Rakugoka begins his story. During his self-introduction, he'll tell you his name and then say, "If you can remember my name and my face before you go home, I will be satisfied." Again, not even presuming to want to make you laugh, which of course is what they are presuming to do. They just won't say it. I think of the example of one of the great and most famous Rakugo storytellers in all of Japan, perhaps in the history of Rakugo, Katsura Bunshi VI. Very, very famous. And yet when he goes out to greet his audience, he'll say the greeting, "Thank you for coming from a faraway place at a busy time in your lives, although I suspect that the truly busy people are not here." All of these various greetings and rituals help keep a kind of veil of self-deprecation and modesty on the part of the storyteller. And this self-deprecation is essential to the very humor of Rakugo. Rakugo audiences love self-deprecation and would feel a little bit strange and uncomfortable if they felt that the storyteller was somehow being self-adoring or a little bit, what would we say in Japanese? Tengu, meaning thinking highly of himself. Wow, Jinbei-san, this is fascinating. So this code of behavior is not just a set of manners, but an essential part of the Rakugo comic performance as well. Exactly. How about when the Rakugoka removes the haori, you know, the kind of over kimono, the little petticoat that's on top, untying the strings and pulling it off of their back? Jinbei-san, yes, happens all the time. Isn't that just when they're about to start the story? Yes, that's usually the timing now, but in the past apparently was different. You know, when the Rakugo storyteller came out, they were looking at the audience and seeing what kind of an audience it was. Was it young people? Was it older people? Did they like puns? Did they like wordplay? Was there a samurai in the house? If there wasn't a samurai in the house, perhaps we should do a story that is making fun of the samurai. It could be dangerous to do it if a samurai was actually in the house. That kind of thing. The Rakugoka used to remove the haori right at the moment that they had decided the story to tell. It was a kind of a secret wink or signal to the audience that the story had been decided. And yet the introduction or the makura part of the performance might still have some time before it reached the actual story itself. So the timing was a bit different back then. That is interesting, Jinbei-san. Speaking of the introductory dialogue, which is a lot like stand-up comedy, I think, you know, didn't you just say it was called makura? Doesn't that mean pillow? Yes, exactly. Makura means pillow. But makura also means the introductory monologue before the storyteller enters the story proper. Hey, Jinbei-san, do they often have scandalous stories? Scandalous? Why scandalous? Well, because the makura was pillow talk, right? Very high-level joke. The meaning is a little bit different in the Japanese. You see, the image is that the Rakugo storyteller would play different characters, looking to the left and looking to the right, to transport you into another world. This is a kind of a dream world. And in order for you to be transported into a dream world, you first have to put your head on the makura, or pillow. In a sense, you have to allow yourself, through sleep, to go into this dream world. Jinbei-san, I see. That certainly makes sense. Yes, unfortunately for the Rakugoka, some audience members take this a little bit too literally. Yes, I know, Jinbei-san. You know, sometimes when I go to the Yosei Theater, I can see audience members actually falling asleep during the performance. You know what I always think when I see that? I hope that they are haunted by bad dreams, as the rest of us are taken into the dream world of a very, very happy and funny story. And there, Bobby-kun, we wholeheartedly agree.